Luxury Productions presents Survival of the Fittest podcast, a product for the people, by the people, where dreams go further than bullets. With your hosts, Lucky XL and Monz Logan. Let's go. Yeah.
SA, man, how you doing, man?
I'm good.
Yeah, man. Shout out SA, the producer behind the mask, behind the camera.
Producer. He does it all. Matter of fact, this merch I got on is by SA.
Oh, of course. You gotta get it in.
Hey, y'all, we getting the link tree together and everything together right now. So if y'all feel inspired and y'all want to, represent Survival of the Fittest podcast straight out the 312, then y'all stay tuned and we'll show y'all where to go get some of this fresh.
Yeah.
What's my little homie name? He was like, what you got on? He was like, don't worry about it, sweetheart. I got that splat. Don't worry about it, sweetheart. Hey, man. Hey, SA, man. So we're going to let you take this where you want to take this today, man.
Okay, I just got a couple of topics I want to touch on. So this whole Kyrie Irving thing with the documentary, I haven't seen the documentary and anti-Semitic stuff. What do y'all think about that?
Well, let me be the first to tell you, man. I seen it. I was up 4 o'clock this morning. I was preparing to go to the gym. I had some time, taking notes, getting ready for today's podcast. So let me go to Prime, Amazon Prime. I went to Amazon Prime, and you got Series 1, Hebrews to Negroes 1, Hebrews to Negroes 2, Hebrews to Negroes. So my man put it all together.
That's the name of it?
That's the name, Hebrews to Negroes, right? So once I paid my $10, that's what it was. And that was the standard version. So I think it was $10 for that, but the HD might have been a couple more dollars more. So I paid for it. I sat down and I was ready to be wild. I'm like, with all the controversy, this got to be a hard-hitting documentary. Man, that shit was bullshit. I'm talking about it was trash. And from the moment, it's like what he did. He went and got, what's the term when you take stock footage.
Yeah.
He got stock footage. He'll put some stock footage here, then he'll put another piece of stock footage, then he'll go get some 1960s silver right stock footage here, then he'll put some words, and then the words will stroll up, and then he'll just jump. I'm like, damn, and he'll jump to the civil rights or he'll jump to slavery, but everything was stock footage.
Right.
I'm like, what are you doing? So it's hard for me to watch when you got these jump cuts full of stock footage, and I'm waiting on to hear what they talking about with the anti-Semitic language.
Well,
it was none of that. So after 20 minutes, I cut it. I'm like, how did Kyrie get in trouble for this shit? This is not no hard-hitting journalism.
now that's the thing to get in trouble. You know, these are adults, multimillionaires who make these guys hundreds of millions of dollars a year, right? Everybody has the right to enjoy what they enjoy, to be educated the way that they choose to be educated. Right now, it seems like it's a witch hunt right now for woke brothers. I don't even want to use the term woke. I don't want to sound all, whatever. But
opinionated?
It's, for brothers who don't go with the status quo, it's a witch hunt right now. And he's on the top of it. He from the city?
Kyrie's from New York.
New York,
from
okay,
Queens,
yeah,
I think.
okay,
yeah, from Queens.
Right.
Yeah. But it also shows that they didn't do their research.
Right.
They didn't care enough to do their due diligence to even, because it's 3 hours long.
Right.
So they didn't even care enough to watch it before they suspended him for 5 games, as well as Nike was about to release his new shoe.
Right.
Nike pulled out on releasing his new shoe. So y'all didn't watch this documentary?
So why they say it's an anti-Semitic film?
I think because of Kyrie has a lot of old rhetoric, and it blends into the Kanye West. I think it was more of retaliation on the Kanye West. So anybody speaking out at this time, especially by it being Kyrie. Kyrie was already opinionated with the COVID vaccine. He said some other things that he's been challenging the system, and the name itself might have been Hebrews to Negro. So Hebrews is also synonymous with Israel and the whole thing of blacks being Jews.
Right.
So the name in and of itself incriminated him.
Right.
And nobody even watched the footage because the footage was trash. You would have clearly seen, I don't know how y'all got this from that.
Right.
But
that
again,
movie made some money now since he didn't posted it on his
yeah,
Twitter.
Yeah, and
that's pretty much what it
that's
is.
That's what I did.
He's saying he wasn't promoting. If you post something on your social media, is that automatically promotion?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I think he was more antagonized because he knew that shit wasn't like. Kyrie's smarter than that. Maybe he not. Because when I looked at I couldn't even watch it. I turned it off after 20 minutes. It was nothing of value there. I couldn't have picked up no new information. I felt cheated.
So enlighten me. Enlighten me, right? Because I've heard the controversy. I didn't take the time out to really read the actual tweet or whatever, but what did he actually tweet? I know he shared it, but was it any captions or anything?
I think he just advised people to go watch. He had the cover of the movie, and he told them something to the fact, go check this out. But he didn't allude to it being anything controversial.
Good, bad,
he didn't say
he
it's
gave no opinion on it.
Yeah, no,
just
he
a
just
suggestion.
said y'all should go watch this. But Hebrews to Negroes is what got him in trouble. The
so
title.
If he would have said, hey man, y'all go watch New Jack City or Boys in the Hood,
they wouldn't have said anything.
Why is that?
Because it's the reference point. It's the
But
name.
It's not considered The only reason they said something because that's considered an anti-Semitic film. I guess what's in it, the content.
But they didn't even watch it. That's what I'm saying. They couldn't have watched it and pulled.
You saying they don't?
No, that's what I'm saying. No, they didn't watch it. But
Right.
the name.
Okay, so we all know what anti-Semitic means, but for our viewers, what's the definition of anti-Semitic? Or given a clear example of what anti-Semitic is.
Well, in layman's term, anti-Semitic is speaking out or being prejudiced towards a Jew. Anybody who describe themselves or subscribe to the Jewish faith.
Right.
That's what it would be. But also anti-Semitism or anti-Semitic is one who speaks Semitic language.
Right.
You see, so that can be anybody because there's more variations. You can be from Asia Minor, but it's also pockets of Africa that also speak Semitic language.
Right.
And that's what Kanye West, and that's what he talk about. We're also Semitic too because we come from Africa and we are Hebrews. And a lot of Hebrews come from Africa through Shem.
Right.
And that's what he was trying to say with the film, but it was so poorly done, you couldn't have picked up that from that film.
Right.
Because I knew what he was trying to get to. But aside from that, it had nothing to do with Judaism. It said nothing about don't believe in the Jews. Have a problem with the Jews. Don't trust. It had nothing to do with that. But y'all go watch it. Y'all go see for y'all. Don't take my word for it. Y'all go spend $10.
But he ain't
get the
promoting
Fire Stick. No.
I'm not saying now you promoting it now.
No, I'm just saying so you can go see the contradiction in it yourself. So.
Man, bottom line, on one hand, I have a slight bit of admiration for how that community can come together and rally up, on one cause and say, hey, look, y'all wronging our people, whether it's BS or not. They, you know what I'm saying? That's what they do.
You can't play with them.
Right. But on the other hand, it's a form of bullyism. I don't even know if that's a word, but y'all get what I'm saying. And I look at it as a money grab. Because now it dries up whatever, deals he may have on the table, any future deals he got going on. If lawsuits come out of that, now they draining your bank account, fighting cases about BS, man. And that's just another way to keep.
I don't know if it's a money grab, but it's a castration.
It's always
it's
well,
a castration.
When I say a money grab, it's like, okay, you've accumulated these millions of dollars or potentials of millions of dollars. Yeah. Let's freeze that on.
Because he did have to spend some money to apologize. He
donated $500,000.
He lost the shoe contract and he was suspended for 5 games.
Right, that's money. They don't get paid.
Let me ask y'all this now. He is in season. The season's already started. Should he be focusing on winning the championship and not even tweeting anything like that? Or should he be able to speak out on those type of things? He could if he want to, but as an athlete and you're on the team trying to win the world championship, should he be focusing on basketball? Why is he tweeting anything towards this film or anything such as on those terms?
Well, maybe that's part of his, get ready formula. Let me watch me something that get my brain stimulated, get my blood boiling or whatever. Go out here and
but he tweeted it. He can watch it.
Right.
But should he be tweeting it and putting it out there? Because that's going to cause, he being Kyrie Irving, that's going to cause a firestorm if he tweets something and they thinking Hebrews or whatever it is. And should he be focusing on basketball?
I think 2 things, right? One, he's in the business of providing a service to an employee. Right. And the NBA has a brand in and of itself that they have to protect because they got sponsorship. Adam Silver, which is the commissioner, he himself is Jewish.
Right.
A lot of the team owners are Jewish. So that is in and of itself is something that you might want to think twice before doing. But at the same time, he's been in the league over 10 years. So when you've been doing it and you do it as well as Kyrie, sometimes you need something to just keep you, because that's his personality too. So he's very analytical. He's a person like to speak out, and you don't have much of that dealing with pro athletes.
He said he want to be a voice for the people.
He want to be a voice, so he's finding himself, and you know what I'm saying? So he's finding inspiration, and he chose the wrong fucking film because the film don't convey nothing worth the trouble that he got into.
But should he be focusing on basketball? Because their team right now got a losing record.
Yeah.
He ain't even playing.
But his team is trash. Ben Simmons trash too. Ben just be out
But
there.
Kevin Durant is a superstar.
He working hard, Kevin Durant. Yeah.
That's why he came to the team. And now Kyrie missed half the year.
Yeah.
Last year because of COVID. He didn't want to take the test. Is he a distraction?
Yeah. I mean, you talking about the business of basketball, clearly that would be a distraction.
Yeah, on the court.
Yeah, he's definitely a distraction.
But is basketball a distraction?
Yeah, it could be too.
From him wanting to be a voice for the people? Because
just,
they paying him millions of dollars to play basketball. People ain't giving his
I mean,
ass
the
shit.
everyday person. So what you're
Yeah.
saying, that they created the game as a distraction from life itself, everyday people, and yeah, it can be. Yeah. All sports can be a distraction.
Man, I was watching the interview, and his brother said, man, it fucked him up. The worst part about being locked up during COVID was that there wasn't no sports playing. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, man, bro, like that's how, brothers, what I'm saying, pass through their time or whatever, And I ain't never really been one that been heavy into, I go to the games, I watch a game here and there, but I wasn't never really one that really like followed it like that. So it ain't really, I don't get that same, you know what I'm saying, excitement everybody else may get from it or whatever. But I can understand, taking that away from somebody, like, man, how important that could be. You know what I'm saying? But we also got to, remember the words of Pops, it's all entertainment.
All entertainment. All just a show.
Yeah. So, man, stop having a heart attack and ready to blow your neighbor's brains out because he said something bad about your team. They suck. I mean, you love them. You're going to ride or die with them. But be real. We from Chicago. We diehard Bears fans just by default, but we know what they're gonna do every week.
I think it's just a belief. We all need something to believe in. But SA, something else you want? What else you got under your sleeve?
Okay, we're gonna switch gears a little bit from the Kyrie Irving talk. I want to talk a little bit about. I've been hearing these comparisons about Michael Jackson and Chris Brown, which I think is absurd. But I want to hear y'all talk a little bit about that. They trying to say that Chris Brown is more talented than Michael Jackson. And I just don't see it, but y'all talk about it.
Hey, shout out to Breezy, man. He's a talented brother, man. He been in the industry for a minute. I gotta see at least 30 more years of this brother for that to even be a comparison. You talking about somebody that did it at the highest level from 8, 9 years old? You know what I'm saying? No way, man. No way. Like I said, the brother is talented, but he's not MJ. Nah, come on. He shouldn't even. I mean, matter of fact, I don't even think he accepts that comparison.
He's not. He's not. There's a stark difference between the two. Mike ain't doing no handstands. Mike ain't gigging away. He's not a freestyler. And I heard real choreographers break down the difference between Chris Brown and Usher. Because Usher more like Michael Jackson. He's a real showman.
Right.
In a sense of the dance. But Chris Brown, he was like, man, Chris Brown can start choreography. He can take the moves and he can improvise on them. He can add because he can just see and he can feel the music.
Right.
Mike didn't feel the music in a way that Chris did.
I ain't gonna let you get away with saying
No.
Mike
If you ever really watch a Chris Brown show, because I've sat there and I watched a whole concert. The things that Chris Brown would do, Mike ain't flipping off the speaker, and Chris doing, Mike ain't doing that, and then get right back in step.
Mike ain't that athletic.
I know, but I'm saying, but that's part of his show. But what Chris Brown is not doing, he's not gonna choose the material that Mike choose either.
Right.
So when it comes to touching cultures, they don't care about us, black and white,
Exactly.
and then the business acumen of Michael Jackson. So given that aspect, no, he's not mentioned with Mike. But if you're talking about the talent-wise, dancing and singing, simultaneously,
Mm-hmm.
he got Mike, because Mike ain't gonna do that. Mike is classy.
I can't give you that, man. Again, man, I'm gonna say, man, Breezy.
Mike ain't freaking girls on stage. Mike ain't doing a lot that Chris gonna do.
You
Mike
seen
is
Dirty
not that
Diana?
dude.
Right, come on now.
And there wasn't no Diana on stage though. But
come on.
But you ain't never seen Mike freak
what's
a Dirty Diana.
The way you make me feel, man. The shorty, come
Yeah,
on
but
now.
I mean, it was still with class.
But you got to also think about this, man. This is a whole different time, bro. Like, I remember, it was a big deal about the way Mike danced. Like, Mike was provocative for that time. You know what I'm saying?
But I wouldn't give provocative.
No,
I would give
bro.
Fred Astaire. I would give Sammy Davis Jr. vibes with the James Brown.
Look,
That's not
low
provocative.
key. Man, Sammy Davis did a stand-up about how nasty Mike's dance routine is. You forget, Mike used to grab his joint and do all
But
you know what I'm saying?
he did that.
But you're talking about the 80s,
He
brother.
grabbing his dick with nobody in front of him. The girl, ain't nobody. Now, if you grabbing and she's
Man,
standing there,
it's 40 million.
But that was his natural. That was
that's
natural.
just not, yeah,
You
you're
know,
right.
he wasn't, doing that. That was part of his style.
Right.
Ain't nowhere in the world that Chris Brown, he did a little rapping. Mike didn't do much rapping. Now I heard that like he was a better rapper than Mike.
Yeah.
But that he a better rapper than Mike. I didn't hear Chris Brown really
Mike
flow.
was trying to rap.
But ain't nowhere in the world dancing, singing, on stage performing. Chris Brown ain't nowhere on that level.
Man.
He right there. But what I will say, Chris ain't making. I don't know if he made people faint. Mike made women faint and cry.
Yeah.
Mike was a global superstar.
Yeah. He was a global.
Man, he's
superstar.
beyond, man. Mike is a planet, bro.
Yeah.
Like you can't even compare him.
And he was a child prodigy. He wasn't moving. Chris didn't have that. If Mike, as a little kid, the
Right.
soulfulness of the Jackson 5.
We can't say what a young Chris Brown would have been. He did come in the game young, not as young as Mike, but he came in the game like 13, 14 maybe.
Mike was 7 years old,
still,
leading his own group.
But here's the thing, he was able to, transcend time. It's a lot of guys that come in that young that ain't able to still be relevant. Now, look at Bow Wow. I know it's a bit different in the genre of the music that they were doing, but still, like, it's a gift in doing that. But again, nah, bro. he ain't got MJ.
Nah, he ain't up there.
Luxury Productions.